with songs like I Don't Dance,
Hey, bitch, don't dance.
Mickey, Fed Up, and even SPMO.
Stop pissing me off. I can play God and cut off your oxygen.
Nascar Aloe is a punk trap metal-esque artist who has cultivated a sound completely of his own. Nascar Aloe is definitely a very interesting artist and really isn't for the faint of heart. If you're fans of guys like Lil Darky, Josiah, even X to some extent, chances are you'll enjoy Nascar Aloe's music. I found Nascar Aloe around early 2019 through Josiah. I was on Instagram, was going through Instagram stories, saw Josiah's, and he had tagged Nascar Aloe. Saw that tag, clicked on Nascar Aloe's profile, and instantly thought, this is an artist I need to listen to more of. Nascar Aloe himself is definitely recognized for his just insane hairstyle. His insane spiked up hair that almost looks like, well, an aloe vera plant. Now, I don't know if the aloe part of his name actually comes from the fact that his hair looks like that, but I do know that the NASCAR part of his name came from when he was younger. He would always wear NASCAR t-shirts. And over time, he developed the name Nascar Aloe. Nascar Aloe is American-born, born in North Carolina. However, he is of Cambodian descent. At least from my perspective, I don't necessarily associate Asian rappers with music like this. To be entirely honest, if I had heard him before actually seeing what he looks like, I probably would have assumed he was of African descent. Simply because the majority of the people who are really big in the trap metal-ish-esque space happen to be, well, that. As I've mentioned in a lot of my other videos, one thing that really helps artists is just their overall appearance. And like I had said, Nascar Aloe really played this to his advantage with that just insane hairstyle. There's just something about artists kind of cultivating their own style and way that they look overall that just helps them boost their music so much more by having some sort of insane look, whether it be the way that an artist dresses, their hairstyle, or even some sort of face tattoo, or a lot of face tattoos. And more often than not, actually helps them progress their music career, which is something I've always found intriguing. Now, while a lot of people might not necessarily consider him a trap metal artist, from my perspective, he is just a very aggressive rapper who you could kind of fit in the trap metal genre, but he also fits in that like punk aggressive rap space. But one thing I also do greatly enjoy about his music is the fact that unlike a lot of other aggressive rappers, he has almost a slight comedic effect to his music. This can be shown in his song Feet.
Bow, ski, I want pics of feet, I do.
But with songs like SPMO, which stands for Stop Pissing Me Off,
Bring too much voices so I cannot think. Every morning there's blood on the sink.
he's able to cultivate that just aggressive, I hate the world type of feel to his music, which from my perspective is part of why he was able to cultivate a decent sized audience. And even though he isn't one of the biggest artists or even a big underground artist, he has been able to cultivate this just cult-like following in the underground. And as you can see by his streams on screen, he has been able to amass a few million plays on multiple songs. And despite Nascar Aloe's aggressive tone behind all of his music, Nascar Aloe overall just isn't a problematic artist. I constantly see artists in the genre that are trying to start shit with just other artists all the time, and Nascar just hasn't. And from a longer term perspective, I really see that playing to his benefit. Now, everybody who does listen to Nascar Aloe, or at least the majority of people, recognize him for this one specific thing.
There's only one race. The human race. What about NASCAR?
And when you hear that, you know that it is a Nascar Aloe song. Another really big thing that I like about Nascar Aloe is the fact that I can't find anybody who sounds like him. There are of course people in the genre, people with similar type of sounding music, but Nascar Aloe has such a unique voice, cadence, and the way that he raps in his style, just everything that is unlike anything else I have heard. Now, for people that don't listen to this sort of aggressive rap, probably won't be able to tell the difference between Nascar Aloe and other aggressive rappers. However, when you've been listening to enough rap and enough aggressive rap, you can definitely recognize that there is nobody like Nascar Aloe. And I feel like that's a big part of why he's been able to see some sort of success over the past couple years, is because he's just a very unique artist in every way possible. Everything from his music, the way he raps, his lyricism, and his overall look, as well as his overall brand and everything. It's just so unique. Now, at the time of me recording this video, Nascar Aloe has just over 350,000 monthly listeners. If you were to release some sort of big album, EP, or massive project, I'm sure that number would jump up significantly, but I really don't see him, at least in the next couple years, passing that 1 to 2 million mark, simply because his current music is just so niche. Even though one of Nascar's closest friends, Josiah, who he just released a song with, does have nearly 2 million monthly listeners, I really don't see NASCAR getting to that point. The only reason why I say that is because I don't see Nascar Aloe's fan base expanding to that size. The biggest reason why Josiah was able to get his fan base to that size is because of multiple viral songs that got big on TikTok as well as on Instagram. And because of Josiah's just overall music diversity, which I've talked about in this video. And at least right now, I really don't see Nascar Aloe passing even 1 million monthly listeners anytime soon. Unless he releases some insane project, album, EP, or has some song that just goes insanely viral for whatever reason. But I almost think that Nascar Aloe not going viral plays to his benefit. Like I had mentioned, Nascar Aloe has a pretty solid fan base to begin with, and overall, I think he's doing great for himself. He's definitely one of those artists where a lot of people are like, I want him to stay underground, because there is that whole idea that when an artist is no longer underground, their new mainstream followers, once they hit that point, almost ruin the artist, which I don't agree with, but a lot of people think that. So I feel like Nascar Aloe is probably going to stay a pretty underground artist for a while. However, if he does get to the point where he becomes more mainstream, possibly up to the size of Josiah or even Star-Lord, I honestly think that it would be well deserved. But for him to get to that point, he would just have to release something just insane. Something different than what he's releasing now. Because to my knowledge, there's not that big of a market for his type of sound. And I say this as somebody who enjoys his music. There just isn't that big of a market for his sound. And when I say a big market for his sound, I mean millions and millions of people who love listening to him. He has millions of streams, but I don't necessarily know if that correlates to millions of loyal fans. It's two very, very different things. But all in all, he's definitely a great punk, trap metal-esque rapper. And if this is your first time hearing about him, you should go check him out. But with all that said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any other future videos that I post. If you are somebody who makes music, click the link down below and join my Discord server. I built that server to be a place for rappers, producers, and rap enthusiasts like myself to come together, make music together, and even find new music. And every Saturday, I am live streaming listening to your music. So if you want me to react to your music on live stream on this channel, make sure to join that Discord server down below and submit your music on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But with all that said, I did notice that my hat's been on kind of sideways, but I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure to click on these places popping up on screen, because if you did stay at the end of this video, I can pretty much guarantee you'll enjoy the rest of the videos that I make. So click on these playlists and go and binge some of my content. But with that said, have a great rest of your day, guys. Peace.